Hey guys, it's Toby Greene here from Kick It to Scoops. I am the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumors and results. You want to be part of the show, Kick It to Scoops? Send through your questions through the Facebook link, which I'll attach every show on the post. And if you want to email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com, send through your questions and you may feature on the show and be answered your question from yours truly, Toby Greene, for free. Yes, for free. If you want to be on the show, as I said, send it through and I'll get back to you. Go Saints! Too easy this is. Kick It to Scoops.
Hello everyone and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Toby Greene, the did I do that on purpose? I don't know. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Toby Greene, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. We've got a big show for you guys this evening. We've got the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Going to go through the Toby Greene, Joel Selwood comparisons. The worst umpiring ever, the modern era. We'll go through that shortly. Stephen Baker. And as of right now, I'm just going to re-include, I haven't got this on the script, but I may go off the script here on Scott Morrison and Gladys Berejiklian. Yes, I said it last time. I normally say I don't give a shit what the last time is, but that's what it is. That's what I'm also going to add. Going to review the semi-finals and preview the preliminary finals. Going to go through my Brownlow votes for the Scoops Medal Editions Finals Edition. My hero of the week. Club reviews of Essendon and the Crows. A few audio messages, some trade talk, and my final thoughts. So let's start off the show with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. That'll always be there for you guys 24/7 if you want any personalized video messages. But in terms of merch, there is a lot of merch out there, and potentially there may be more types of merch or shirt designs in the future. But you got any suggestions, you know what to do. Send them down, or you can send them down in the comments below, but preferably through a Facebook message or an email. And you can email me at aflinfolive@gmail.com. Send through your audio messages also, and you may feature on the show weekly. But to do that, you've got to send your audio messages through the email link, not through Facebook, through the email link at aflinfolive@gmail.com. Merch, as I said, there's now, as of right now, mugs and stickers are back in stock on sale on the website right now. So if you want any of them, get them now. I recommend that they'll probably sell out within days. So if you want your stuff, you can get stuffy holders. If you want your mugs or stickers, get them now, as of right now. Or wait till after the recording of this episode, or get it right now and come back to the episode, because they will be there for a limited time only. And also, there's currently still stubby holders. There is all the t-shirts, there's hats, there's a hoodie for $55 for a hoodie. It's a world-made hoodie. It's a great hoodie. It's the only hoodie you can get, and limited stock on that also. If you want your hoodie for this winter time, get yours today. And if you want anything, if your friend's birthday is coming up, or right now, or if Christmas coming around the corner not too far away, we recommend to get your merch in early to get the best chance. If you want it for Christmas, urge you to order it now, preferably within the next, within the next month, before the end of October, if you want to be guaranteed to get your merch before Christmas. But get in early. Again, there's nothing wrong with getting it right now. If you want to get it for someone for Christmas, there's nothing wrong with getting it right now, because who's to say some of this merch will be available come around December time. So anyways, I said, you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Now let's go to the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Now, I said this was a late inclusion to the Scoops Goes Bang. I'm going off the script here. Scott Morrison and Gladys Berejiklian. Everyone go, he's going political again. Just this one, thank you. I need to do this. Vaccine now. Actually, it's about the vaccine. So I'm going to do a little plug-in. No, it's not, I'm not being told by the government to do this. Get the vaccine now. If you're not vaccinated and you're eligible to, and you have not gotten yours, and there's no medical reason why you can't, get yours today. You want to live a normal life, you want to go to the footy, you want to do all those things, get vaccinated. If you're hesitant of what vaccine to get, whether it's Pfizer or AstraZeneca, what is available now is the best for you. Whatever is available now is the best. It's the safest. They're both safe. I've had mine so far. So get yours today. And if you want to have a normal life, go to the footy, go to theatres, go to pubs, clubs, and whatever. Get vaccinated. 99.9% of you can. So if you haven't got yours already, get yours today. Right. Now, Scott Morrison, Gladys Berejiklian. There's been rumours going around, and Dan Andrews confirmed today that there's been a secret under-the-table arrangement between Scott Morrison and the New South Wales Premier, Gladys, I don't give a shit what your last name is, but apparently getting extra secret doses of the vaccine. Well, ScoMo, we know you love Gladys. You might as well marry her. I'll tell you what, this is bullshit. This is ridiculous. Taking them off Victoria when we need it, when every other state needs them too. And you're supposed to be sharing them per capita, or whatever you call it, the new UK doses that are coming through for Pfizer and that. And you gave New South Wales the fair proportion of it, going by the per quota. That's how much they got in their state, fair enough. But to give secret doses, Morrison, ScoMo, whatever you want to call him, and Gladys, I don't give a shit what your last name. Lift your game, you absolute tossers. Absolute joke. Absolute joke, they are. Now, go to the football side of things. Toby Greene, Joel Duckwood. You can get your Duckwood t-shirts today too. Links are down below. They're selling really well, and there's not many left, so you want to get yours today of that. The Duckwood tees. There's two. White top and a black top. With the Duckwood name on the black top. Yeah. Toby Greene, Joel. So now people want to tell me Toby Greene deserved 3 weeks, 6 weeks for touching Matt Stevic, whatever. It's not about that incident. If you go back to the incident where Toby Greene tried to fend off, also the fend off t-shirt I have on my site too now, get yours, limited time only. Toby Greene, some thought of a fend off to Paddy Dangerfield, hurt his neck, went to hospital, trained days later and played the next week. Toby Greene got suspended for that, right? I didn't agree with that at all, and I still don't. Joel Selwood on the weekend did the exact same thing to Josh Kelly from the Giants. Josh Kelly did not get hospitalised, did not miss any training and everything, and he would have played this week had they been Prelim, but they're not now. They're eliminated, unfortunately. But Joel Selwood, was he fined? Was he suspended? Nope. Was he fined? Nope. Was he cleared? Yes. What a joke. This is a bullshit. If people say, he's hating on Geelong again. He's got his players he hates. If you can try and tell me what the difference is between those two incidents, I'd love for you to tell me. Except for the outcome, it shouldn't matter the outcome. It's the action. You shouldn't be waiting for people to get injured. So, let's suspend him. It's the same action. If Toby Greene got suspended, Joel Duckwood should. So what a joke Michael Christian and the AFL are with this. Lift your game. Absolute joke. It is a joke. Don't tell me that Toby Greene deserves a suspension for that, yet Joel Duckwood, Selwood, did not. It's the same incident, just with a different outcome, an absolute joke. And Dangerfield played the next week and trained during the week, earlier the same week, days after the incident. So what an absolute disgrace. The AFL showed the Toby agenda, the Toby tax, which Kane Corns called it. It is the Toby Greene agenda, I call it. And Joel Selwood does the same thing, got let off. Tom Hawkins, same thing, got let off. Absolutely ridiculous. AFL, Michael Christian and co. Lift your game. Fucking mad. You thought I was going to get mad about that. Oh my God. This is the weekend's game, Geelong GWS and Brisbane Bulldogs, the semi-finals, was the worst umpiring I have ever seen in my lifetime combined for 1 week. I thought the Geelong GWS game was a joke, which it was, and Ray Chamberlain's been dropped for it, and rightfully so should have the other two. But my God, the Brisbane Bulldogs game was just as bad as that game. They were both bad. It's hard to say which one was worse. I would say the Geelong one, but my God, both games up, and that was the worst umpire I've ever seen. Free kick Geelong, free kick Western Bulldogs. My God, hashtag free kick Geelong and hashtag free kick Western Bulldogs. What an absolute fucking joke. I almost pulled my hair out. It was That fucking ridiculous. I tell you what, I'm just lost for words at the moment. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. Matty Stevic, Ray Chamberlain, Chris Donlan, whoever the other additional umpires were in those two games, should not be umpiring a prelim or a grand final. An absolute disgrace. It was embarrassing to watch. I don't know how any Geelong or Bulldogs fans with a straight face can tell me that they would not heavily favour. If you're a Geelong fan or a Bulldogs fan telling me that you guys weren't favour of the umpire, you got something seriously wrong with you. Any non-Bulldogs and Geelong fan would know that they both got a big, heavy ride of free kicks. It's not always the number tools. It's what you get and what you don't get and where Geelong get them. Say, for example, Geos. Look, when it was 14 points late in the last quarter when Geos were making that big comeback from Timmy Taranto and co, Jack Steen, the young defender, Zach Sproul was, just before he injured his shoulder. In the goal square, Geos were 14 points down early in this last quarter, making a late surge to the Geelong Footy Club. And it was 14 points in the goal square. Lockie Henderson was on Zach Sproul. Zach Sproul had his jumper pulled or fended off on. And no, he didn't get the free. No, he didn't get the free. What a joke. Lockie Henderson got a free. For what? For what? Oh, that's right. The AFL were like, or the umpire were like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. GWS are coming back. They're probably going to overrun Geelong. Oh, shit. Let's fuck their momentum. 14 points. Oh, shit. We can't let it get to 8 points with like 13 minutes to go. Oh, shit. Let's not give it to GWS. Let's give Geelong a free. What a fucking joke. And then Geelong go the outside from another free kick and get the goal and make it 20 points, and then it goes out, and then they come back, and then it goes back out from umpiring. A fucking joke, these umpires. Chamberlain, Razor Ray, I love Razor Ray, but this was the worst set of umpiring I have ever seen in my time. I've seen some bad umpiring over my time, especially in St Kilda games, that Hawthorn game in Tassie. But these two games of umpiring rank up with that game between St Kilda and Hawthorn in Tassie a long time ago when Andrew Stevens had a Hawthorn Twitter profile, changed his bio, went public, went private. Hid his profile, unhid his profile, went private. A joke. Andrew Stevens is a joke. Thank God. And he's another one that should never be umpiring again either. These 6 umpires should be ashamed of themselves. And lift your game. My God. Gee, you've got 4 teams to go. Geelong, Bulldogs, Melbourne, and Port Adelaide. I tell you what, I'd be nervous if I was Melbourne and Port Adelaide for one reason only. You're about to get fucked over by the umpiring this week. I can guarantee you that. So, Gorney, I put a tweet out there a while ago. Please do the rest of Australia a favour and smash or beat Geelong. Gorney, I'm going to reiterate that message again, mate. Kick the goal after the side again, whatever you want to do. Please beat Geelong. Thank you, rest of Australia. And likewise to Port Adelaide. Kenny Hinkley, Zach Butters, Mitch Georgiades and co. Razio Fantasia, Ollie Wines, Travis Boak. Please do us a favour and beat the Bulldogs. They don't need to be gifted another game. Now, I'm not done. Stephen Baker, a former Saint. I tell you, people say, a St Kilda player did this, or an ex-St Kilda player said this, or blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't criticise them. Well, yeah, I would. Stephen Baker. He was a shit stirrer as a footballer, a nagging, shit-stirring player. But his anti-vaccine comment, anti-vaxxer comment was pathetic. Shitting on St Kilda for promoting people to get vaccinated, showing photos of Jack Billings, Jack Steele, Cooper Sharman, Mason Wood, all been vaccinated, and Stephen Baker saying he's embarrassed as a club, the deserver wouldn't stand for this. Stephen Baker, you're an absolute fucking and people say, oh, you wouldn't tell him to his face, maybe not in this tone, but he is irrelevant now. So for people that say they don't single out St Kilda players or ex-Saints players or ex-media or whatever, well, you're wrong. Stephen Baker, lift your game, but seen a lot of shit you've said over time. I'm not surprised that this is the way you are, so lift your fucking game. You don't want to go to the footy anymore? Good. Fuck off. Right. I hope you love that long, indulging edition. Indulge. A new word. Anyway, I hope you enjoy that long rendition. Yeah, I can't even speak. I'm so mad, I cannot speak clearly. I see clearly. The Rated R Superstar Edge. But yeah, Stephen Baker's on the edge and just falling off it. Lift your game, Tosser. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed that long edition of Scoops. goes bang. I reckon that's the best ever Scoops Goes Bang I've ever had. And I've had a lot of Scoops Goes Bang editions where they've been must-see television. Yeah. Anyway, that one was big. Now I'm going to review and preview the semi-finals and preview the prelims coming up. By going all the way back to Friday night at Optus Stadium, Geelong unfortunately eliminated the Giants 103-68. Geelong by 35 points. You know what I've just said about the umpiring in that game, and basically it was a momentum killer. Geelong started okay, Giras came back and had a red-hot crack in the fourth quarter. It could have won that game had it not been for him. And don't tell me otherwise. It was absolutely a joke. Lockie Whitfield was best on ground for GWS, and Geelong's probably best was probably Tom Hawkins. But yeah, we'll see my Brownlow votes shortly. Scripps Medal votes for the finals edition. But yeah, Geelong progressed to Melbourne, and GWS unfortunately are done. Just quickly on GWS, Jacob Popper was set to sign a 2-year deal. The Saturday preliminary final, Brisbane and the Lions. They are the Lions. Brisbane and the Bulldogs. Bulldogs win by 1 point, 79-78. We talk about that Latham Vandermeer rush behind-ish kick with 50 seconds to go. Effectively won them the game. Daniel Rich had the kick out. They had a chance. Zorko kicked one out before late from a rush kick. Unfortunately for the Lions, the season's over. But we know the Bulldogs got a free ride with the umpiring yet again, like they always do. Go check the free kick differential, fools. If you don't believe me, and same with Geelong, that top 2 with free kicks. Are you surprised? I'm not. If you're surprised, well, shouldn't be. Unfortunately for the Lions, their season is over. McCluggage, Lions. Yeah, McCluggage does exist. Tools for people say that doesn't exist. I actually like Brisbane. Lions was good. Neil was good. And to get to Lockie Neal soon in terms of the trade rumour request. But yeah, unfortunately, the Lions, their season is over. For the Bulldogs, McRae was usually the best on ground yet again. Bulldogs progressed to the power. Now we're going to preview the preliminary finals this Friday night, September 10, 7:50 Melbourne time at Optus Stadium, Melbourne and Geelong. Again, I'll reiterate for both these games, if Melbourne and Port are to win, they would have to get through 2 sets of people, the players and the umpiring. So Melbourne is probably the informed side of the year with Port at the moment. So going to go for Melbourne. They should comfortably beat Geelong in Perth, to be honest. They realistically should. So I'm going to go for Melbourne and progress to the granny, which team events will be up and about. The other game at the Adelaide Oval, Saturday, September 11th, 7:40 p.m. The Power and the Bulldogs will let you win easily. The Bulldogs are straight through last few weeks. I know they beat Essendon by big margin, but that was all because of late goals. And they had umpiring in that game too. And Adelaide have been pretty good. They had a good win in the first round of finals against Geelong. And they could end up playing Geelong in the grand final again. Maybe not. But I hope not. Anyway, Adelaide should win that. Mitch Georgiades should be back. So it'll be good to see how they go with Mitch Georgiades back in the side. Now, going to go through my Brownlow votes for the semi-final rounds. The Scoops Medal Finals Edition. Geelong v GWS. Geelong S. Menangola, 1 vote. Geelong T. Hawkins, 2 votes. GWS Al Whitfield, 3 votes. Brisbane v Western Bulldogs. Brisbane H. McCluggage, 1 vote. Bulldogs B. Smith, 2 votes. Western Bulldogs J. McRae, 3 votes. Now, the leaderboard after not round 2, after the semi-final rounds with 2 sets of rounds of votes to go, the Bulldogs still remain. And the leader so far for the Scoops Medal Finals Edition is the Scoops Medal home and away winner, Jackson McRae, on 6 votes. It looks like you're going to go back-to-back. Jackson McRae's on 6 votes, in first place on 6 votes. In 3 votes, we got combination of Lockie Neal, Travis Boak, Isaac Keaney, and Lockie Whitfield. 2 votes, combination of Ollie Wines, Luke Parker, Clayton Oliver, Tom Hawkins, Darcy Parish, and Bailey Smith. And on 1 vote, a combination of Orazio Fantasia, Charlie Cameron, Josh Kelly, Josh Shackey, Sam Menangola, and Hugh McCluggage. Now, obviously, some of them have no more games remaining. So looking at the leaderboard, guys, I think it's down to Jackson McRae, Travis Boak, and Ollie Wines, and Clayton Oliver, and Tom Hawkins, and Bailey Smith, and potentially Orazio, Fantasia, and Josh Shaki, technically, and Menegola, but we'll have to wait and see there. Now, that's if McRae doesn't poll another vote. They're the only ones that can win. Well, if McRae polls another vote, they're the only people that can win. So, or but tie. So we'll have to wait. So let me know your thoughts down below. There's 2 sets of votes for the rounds just gone. Now, when we go through, what should we go through now? When we go through, haven't mentioned this as a topic, but I just want to mention this. Go to afl.com.au. If you want to get any more of your draft news, go to Cal Toomey's Phantom Form Guide, which was out last week. His top draft prospects for August rankings. He's had an All-Australian team come out. I will go through the draft in detail more in upcoming weeks, mainly after the grand final week with the trade period and draft coming up. But I recommend you go check that out. Nick Dacos and Jason Horn-Francis were the 2 picks. Will be in the top few picks. Obviously, Nick Dacos linked to the Pies through father-son, and Jason Horn will be picked up by the Roos. Now, I'm going to go through my hero of the week. My hero of the week is from the Giants. It's Josh Kelly. People might say there's a hint of sarcasm here with Josh Kelly. The reason Josh Kelly is my hero of the week is he was so brave, so brave, trolls. He had a bad incident happen to him by Joel Duckwood. He did not require hospitalisation. Tough, strong player is Josh Kelly. Well, so that's why Josh Kelly is my hero of the week. Now, before we get to your audio messages, I'm going to review the season review of Essendon and the Crows. So let's start off with the Bombers. Now, my highlights and lowlights, trade targets / draft targets, players who disappointed and impressed, and a grading from a school report. So A, B, C, D, E, F. They'd be the rankings. So I could do C pluses, minuses, Ds. Yeah, well, you'll see. That's what my report card will be. So my club review for the Essendon Football Club. The highlights for the Essendon Football Club this season was simply one thing. The big win over St Kilda early in the season. A big shock loss to my Saints. And, it was the highlight for the Bombers, a big win. Yes, it was dodgy umpiring early, but in the end, they were far too strong. And unfortunately for my Saints, Essendon were too good then in the end. Some lowlights for Essendon for the season was choking against the Hawks in round one, having a 40-odd point lead at halftime and choking that up to the Hawks, losing by a point. Then following it up with the big loss to the Power in Adelaide was terrible as well. And also another lowlight was hyped up to yet again failing to win a final. Essendon fans, just remember the number, 6,020 plus days. And by the time finals come around next year, probably be around 6,300. So just remember that. Now, some trade targets and draft targets for the Bombers. Not really particular names as of right now, but I think they lack key forward options with Cale Hooker being let out and not playing the last part of the Harrison Jones isn't really a key forward. He's more for your third tall type. I know he's tall, but he's a bit skinny and hasn't shown much yet to be a key target. And they need some ruck depth. I actually don't mind Andrew Phillips there as a ruck depth, but they probably need a second option. They're using Sam Draper as their number one option, but again, I think they can do better than Sam Draper and Andrew Phillips, so they need someone in between or just above Sam Draper. And they need some key defenders with Michael Hurley set to retire as well. Go out. So, yeah, they need some key defenders as well. Because Cirque Thatcher and players like that, Ridley, they're not key position players, so they need some other players there. Some players who are impressed and disappointed this year for Essendon. Impressed, Nick Hind, came from the Saints, Zach Merritt, Darcy Parish, plain and simple. Now, 2 players that I've said are disappointed. I know people are going to say, they were injured for this year, but Andrew McGrath and Dylan Shield, I know they were injured, but they disappointed purely because they weren't getting on the park. And when they were on the park, they weren't really having any major say on the season. Player that played the majority of the year, if not all the year, was Devon Smith. I will never understand why he gets a consistent game. He's been pretty consistent this year. Had some okay moments, but mainly poor moments, and he should have been dropped a few times, but they didn't drop him. And I still think he was disappointing. Now, some people will say this is very harsh on a young player in his first year, Nick Cox. But after the first 6 weeks, to be honest, he was really unsighted. He was dropped. He was the sub, the Medi sub, and then he was dropped. He wasn't seen, and then he was a sub in the final, which they lost. So for the hype, saying he's going to win the Rising Star, it was not even close, and rightfully so. He had Luke Darcy and Matty Richardson writing him, saying how good he is. Oh my God, this guy's going to win the Rising Star by how much? And well, he didn't even get close. So that went pretty quick. Richo didn't it? Who's on the selection? Getting angry at David King too. I see, salty. David King was right too, by the way, about that. Richo. Nick Cox was disappointing despite starting off okay. My grading for the Bombers now, I know they made finals, but yet again, they failed to win a final, which I said earlier, over 6,020 plus days. The grading for the Bombers is a C-. Now, I'm going to go on to the Crows. My grading for the Crows this season and the season review of the Crows. The highlights for the Crows was that win over Melbourne in Adelaide. 1-point win, the Nick Murray controversy. It was good for the Crows, great win, and a big win at the time for the Crows. And there's some good wins after that too, off the road. So the momentum came from that game for a while. Then they also beat Geelong in round 1 in Adelaide. Some good wins at home. It was awesome, that win. They had a pretty easy win over Geelong in round 1 too. Geelong fans were being disappointed then. Some lowlights over the Crows. 5 heavy losses, including to Essendon, Brisbane, Port Adelaide, GWS, and West Coast. The first time to West Coast. Look, if you look at it, 4 of those 5 heavy losses were to sides that made the 8. So, it's not a bad thing, I suppose, but they need to progress to not getting beaten. If they're only getting beaten by 15 points, it's okay. But you don't want too many heavy losses like they did against some of those sides. Some trade targets and draft targets for the Crows. They need some speed. They've got a lot of midfield options, but more like inside mids. You've got Matt Crozier come back after re-signing for 2 years, which is great for the Crows. And then you've got, Schomburg, you've got Sloan, you got players like that in there, so you need some speed in that area. Some forward depth. I was thinking about you thinking Cooper. You still got Tex, but we don't know now if he's going to play. Even if he is, I sort of Riley Thilthorpe, Billy Frampton. You need some more maturity. They got rid of a player they should have kept in Tom Lynch, which I'll still fathom by, and even Daniel Talia. So they're a bit more socked up for young key defenders, Nick Murray, Jordan Butts, Tommy Duday. They needed some more players in the key forward. So still Thorpe and Frampton can't be, especially if Tex isn't there. And even if he is there, he's only got 1 more year left. It's good old Texan. Some players who disappointed, impressed for me for the Crows. The 2 obvious ones who I had in my Royal Australian team and squad, or in my team throughout the year, was Rory Laird, who was in my final team, and Ben Keats was in the mix the whole way through, and he was in for part of the season. And Tommy Duda, had he not been injured, he could have been a good contender for my All-Australian team as well, but he had a great year. Tommy Duday, disappointed. Shane McAdam, actually a player I thought would do all right. Got dropped, didn't see him for a while, came back, was dropped. Didn't really see him much at all, especially in the second half of the year. And Chase Jones, Crows fans, aren't a fan of him, and I understand why. He was pretty disappointing. Chase Jones, especially for a former first-round draft pick. My overall grading for the Adelaide Crows for season 2021 is a D. Now, we'll move on to your audio messages, just the 2 today, but let's hear them right now.
Hey Coops, just wondering, should Geelong get rid of some of their older players, considering that the end of this group is near?
Good question, mate. Should Geelong get rid of some of their experienced older players? So you're referring to clearly some players like Sean Higgins, Lockie Henderson, Tom Hawkins, Joel Duckwood. I think obviously Selwood and Hawkins I think will go around next year. Lockie Henderson's had actually a pretty good year. Has had a few shaky weeks last few weeks, but you got Sean Higgins as well. I'm sure there's a few I'm missing off the top of my head. That's 2 of the ones I could think of. But they probably do. They're going to lose Quinton Narkle. They're going to lose Jordan Clark. They're going to lose Charlie Constable, 3 of their younger brigade. They all want out. And for people telling me they don't, Charlie Constable's wanted out the last 2 years, as has Jordan Clark. So, they're out. Nick Narkle will go. And, they're going to lose more young players. And they're going to have more older players there. And they're linked to Daniel Talia. So they might have another 30-plus-year-old come in. Or they're linked to at least anyway. A few other clubs are too. But St Kilda are linked to Daniel Talia. Essendon's been rumoured. So is a few other clubs. Richmond as well. So wait and see. We'll move on to the next and final question.
Hey Scoops, I was just wondering if you were to build a team like you kind of do in 2K or like in the NBA where you build a franchise around someone and you had to choose between Connor Rosie and Xavier Dersma, who would you pick and why? Thanks, Scoops.
Thanks for your question, mate. Yeah, who would I build a team around? The two Port Adelaide young guns, Xavier Dersma or Connor Rosie. Now, a lot of people would know, well, I assume you would know because I have said it through Facebook posts in time. And if not, you're going to know for the first time right here, right now. I highly rate the Port Adelaide draftee crop from that year of Rosie, Butters, and Dersma. I've said throughout that time through the draft period, Port Adelaide were clearly the winners of the draft that year. Rosie, Dersma, and Butters, three great young players with the power. So make it really tough to choose. Connor Rosie, I'd probably lean to just because he's got that X factor at times. Xavier Dersman's got the bow and arrow. He hasn't rung out the bow and arrow lately, unfortunately. And Zach Butters is great as well. I know you just mentioned Dersma and Rosie. I'll go Connor Rosie, mate, but I appreciate that question. A good, well thought out question, but of those two, as I said, I'll choose Connor Rosie. Now, you want any more questions answered, guys, on the show through an audio message like those two guys did? Send me an email at aflinfolive@gmail.com and send through your audio messages, please. And you can send it any day you want, and it'll be on the show every week, providing it's respectful. Now, I had a few other questions come through, which we will not be playing because they were disrespectful and don't deserve any airtime. Now, I'm going to go through some trade chatter, trade talk, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've written down some names in particular I want to go through. The big one first we're going to go through is Lockie Neal. Now, Ryan Daniels from Channel 7 in Perth, who's a good journo. He doesn't seem to put out stuff unless he's pretty confident. He's not one that puts it out just for the sake of it. He puts it down when it's got some merit to it. And coincidentally, it is correct. Brisbane come out and saying that's not true. He's not requested to trade it. We spoke to him earlier yesterday, and he hasn't requested to trade it, but him and his partner, Jules, will go through it all. So in other words, yes, he's leaving. They just don't want to say yet. They don't want to use their bargaining power when it goes to the trade period. They'll probably say this throughout the whole trade period that they don't want him to go. He's got Tuesday goes a Brownlow medalist, all that. And rightfully so that they deserve some good compensation for Lockie Neal. But in the end, it'll happen. And for that to happen, Fremantle and the club who wants to go back home to WA, makes it interesting why he left in the first place, but apparently it was a Ross. But yeah, that leaves an Adam Chera. So now I'm going to link these two together. The two of the biggest names with Luke Parker, and Jack Billings. But you know what, Chera and Neal, they need to get the Chera deal done. You got Carlton linked, you got Melbourne linked. I don't see how and why they would need another midfielder. No, he's a young gun, but they don't need another midfielder in Melbourne. They need other areas filled up, like key defenders. Oh, sorry, take that back. Depth in those key forward and defender areas. Especially with Wiedemann on the way out, linked to North. But yeah, Chera, they need to get the deal done. The Dockers, they want to fit Neal in. They're probably going to need the picks for Chera to give Brisbane for Neal. So they may have the club that wants Chera or Chera wants to go to potentially Carlton have the bargaining power now of a Freo with Chera and go, okay, we know you want to get Neal in. You're going to need picks down. We want this for Chera. We want to take this, and they might just have to cough them up for less than they want to, just to fit like Neal back in draft pick wise. Because Brisbane will want at least 2 first rounders, but we'll see how they go. Obviously, clubs haggle over it. Wait and see. But Chera and Neal, they'll be gone. Neal will get to Freo, and Chera will get to a Victorian club, most likely Carlton at this stage. Now, the other big one I just briefly mentioned was Luke Parker, or one of the other big ones I just mentioned was Luke Parker. With the Swans, they've got 4 players out of contract: Hayden McLean, George Stewart, Jordan Dawson, and Luke Parker. Now, I want to throw Cal Sinclair into this mix because he might be on an okay salary, considering when he came from West Coast, he was on a solid salary, which I'm sure he's still on that deal from when he signed from West Coast. So Cal Sinclair, I'm not sure if he's out of contract. I believe he's got a year left. If not, he would be out of contract. But so he's got a year to go. He'd be on probably around 300-ish. They're going to need to free up some space because they probably can't afford to keep both Luke Parker and Jordan Dawson. Now, Hewitt probably goes a free agent, again linked to Carlton, probably on about 450-ish. Hayden McLean will be on about 250-ish. And then you got Cal Sinclair, who may be on about 300-ish. But overall, I had a combining Hewitt, McLean, and Sinclair, and it's around 1 million. for those 3 players, but not even $1 million. But and you compare Dawson and Parker will be commanding just under $1 million alone, and Dawson will be wanting around 600-ish. So that's about 1.4. So they're about 5 million, 400,000 to 500,000 short. So just losing Hewitt, McLean, and maybe Sinclair or Lewis Taylor type may not be enough. They may have to sacrifice one of Parker or Dawson, and it'd be a really hard one to pick one or the other, because Dawson's a great young gun and Parker's an established gun of the competition right now. It should have made the All-Australian squad, or All-Australian 22, because you mine. But Luke Parker's linked to my Saints. Hopefully then, if that means he goes to the Saints, because I'm thinking at the moment, to be honest, that if he's gone, it's to the Saints. That's why maybe the Saints have freed up some cap space with Dan Hanbury taking a pay cut. Billings potentially going on a 4-year deal at reduced wage. They'll be trying to squeeze in a Luke Parker tie. So watch your space on Luke Parker. I think overall, though, Jordan Dawson will be the one to stay. Hewitt will go. And I think Parker, if they got no salary room, will be forced to go out. Maybe there's a play we don't know of at the Swans. A Josh Kennedy, a veteran. Maybe someone else they might push out on solid money, because they got some great young players that will want some good money as well coming through. Do they push out a Nick Blakey? They don't have to wait and see. His father's at North Melbourne. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see there. Jack Billings, the other big one I'll go through. So just briefly mentioned, he'll sign a 4-year deal on reduced money at the Saints. Seb Ross from the Saints, it's a bit of 50-50 money here, to be honest. I think that Seb is being offered a 2-year deal according to Tommy Morris with a trigger of a third. I think he'll end up taking that. I think that's pretty good for him. I think he'll take it, but he's servicing the market at the moment, and fair enough. They haven't been playing Seb in a particular role. He's been pushed out of the midfield, playing half back, tagging role, half forwards. He's been a bit all over the shop, Seb. He's had a pretty solid year, though, so I have to wait and see what is out there for Seb. He's a free agent too, so I have to wait and see there. Luke Dunstan, they mutually parted ways a few weeks ago. Not officially announced for St Kilda, but he'll be gone. Again, maybe they're trying to get some money out now so they can fit in Luke Parker and guarantee him what certain amount they could offer Luke Parker with the Dan Hanbury pay cut, as I just mentioned. And a few other quick ones I wanted to go through. 2 Richmond pair of players, Marbiol Chol and Callum Coleman-Jones. I think one of them will be gone. I think Chol will be the one that go. They rate both players, but particularly Callum Coleman-Jones. Damien Hardwick seems to like more out of the two. So I think Chol will be out. He's been linked to Essendon, but we'll have to wait and see. That is the top player. Essendon do need that forward ruck role. Callum Coleman-Jones, I think, will stay. He's been linked to clubs in Adelaide because he's from Adelaide, but we'll have to wait and see. They're piloted pretty well stocked, so maybe the Crows. But now, my final thoughts are this, guys. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Needing the merch, the Duckwood tee, the Fend Off, Kick It to Scoops t-shirt, Kick It to Scoops hat, Scoops Goes bringing you a block t-shirt, all the hats, exclusive breaking news, you mad bro, stubby holders, mugs, stickers, which are available now for a limited time only in a limited amount. There's all that and more. And the hoodie, a Double Cobra t-shirt and hat, and the Double Cobra hoodie. $55, but there's a limited amount. It's a very rare item. We're going a certain amount in stock, and you want to be one of only a few to have that hoodie. So get yours today. Things will go out very soon, especially the mugs and stubby holders. The mugs and stickers, which will be only out for a limited time and a limited amount. So get yours right now. If you haven't got yours already, while I've been talking throughout this whole episode, and I put the post out just before this episode, so get yours today before they run out. And this may be the last time you see them, so you need to get yours today. So again, my final thoughts are this. Be kind. I was going to say this at the top of the show, but I didn't. Guys, I appreciate you all that are tuning in right now and have tuned in over many weeks and communicate through my Facebook page, my new Instagram page, AFL Info Live, the name is called. The search through the Instagram link. Leave a follow on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Cooper Gretsch. You know how to search out. You know what a profile picture looks like. It's the only one, the sole admin of AFL information, trade and results. But guys, I just want to leave out with this important message. I mentioned about the vaccine stuff earlier. I mentioned about my opinions on things. Guys, I've never ever said you need to agree on what I say, but never be threatening me. If people say, you're having to go as Selwood, it's all tongue-in-cheek, it's all well and good, things like that. But when people want to death threaten me, send me vile message going, you look like this, you look like that, you are this. It's hurtful, it's disgraceful, it's depressing, and I wish you guys would stop. Now, please, you don't enjoy my stuff, that's fine. Fuck off. Simply fuck off. Guys, I appreciate you all that do like my stuff and do tune in every single week. I have some people messaging me saying that they watch every week, and I really do appreciate that. And people that are sending in all your merch photos of my merch, I really do appreciate that. And I'm just going to say this, also my final thoughts. I've had some AFL players reach out to me saying they love my show and they watch my show, so they know who they are. I'm not going to mention their names for obvious reasons, but really do appreciate it. And a few AFL players have bought my merch from a few clubs. So to those particular players, they know who they are. Thank you very much. It means a lot to hear that and see that you do A, care for me, and B, buy merch. You don't have to, but to show that you buy that also means a lot to me. So really appreciate you all. Hopefully we have a goal reenactment during the pre-final of the grand final bye before the grand final, the bye between the prelim and the grand final. Oh, yes. Some big news come through recently in the last hour of doing this recording. The grand final will be 7:15 Melbourne time, 5:15 Perth time. The grand final the following Saturday, or in 2 Saturdays' time. The grand final will be 7:15 Melbourne time and 5:15 local time in Perth at Optus Stadium. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in. There potentially may be a goal reenactment in next week's show, and plenty more. Until next week, everyone, have a great one. And most importantly, go the Saints!